Hey guys, this is Christina.
And this is Justin.
And today's video is a special premiere. We are bringing to light 10 newbie van life questions.
Yeah, and we're going to be asking them from this other couple that come from Colorado.
Who are living in their van already.
They are. And they came from here to Montreal, and we had a good time. We chatted, we had lunch, they ate poutine.
Yeah, I think they liked it.
I think so.
So, here it is. We're doing questions 6 to 10 for today's premiere, and if you want the answers to the bottom questions that are written in the description after today's premiere and chat, we're going to invite you to go over to their channel and watch the first 5 questions that they answered.
Yep.
And chat them up. And hopefully you'll like them so much.
Yeah, you'll subscribe and...
bring them into the family.
Exactly. Given that you live in a van, what tools do you carry? I mean, you have limited space, don't you?
That's important.
Mm-hmm.
What tools do you carry? That is a great question. So the tools that we carry, originally I carried my entire toolbox with us so that I could do almost anything. However, I realized that that's kind of ridiculous. There's no way I'm going to drop a transmission in the middle of a highway. I don't need my big toolbox worth of tools. So what we carry now, which is much more limited, is a small socket set with the essential sockets. So the 10 millimeter, the half inch, the quarter inch, the 8 millimeter, anything small enough that I could do on the side of a road. Let's say change an alternator. Some of the other tools that we have is a jump pack. So instead of having to hook up someone else's car to my battery if the battery dies, I can just hook that jump pack on, hit a button, and the van will start. That'll get us where we need to go. I've actually used it to help multiple people out and start their car, and I, knock on wood, actually haven't had to use it on the van at all. But it's really, really nice to have. We have screwdrivers and a couple Allens as well. But ultimately, we carry a very minimal amount of tools because if we break down, we're going to be calling a tow truck because the likelihood of us being able to break down and fix the van is decently low.
Guys, how do you afford van life? Period.
That's a great question, and that's the question that absolutely everybody wants to know is how do you afford a lifestyle like this? Well, to be honest, for me, it's this little guy right here. I edit as well as manage social media and create websites for clients. That's how I am contributing. Right now, it's not a ton, but this part is relatively new, so we're just trying to build it from the ground up. We also have a couple other things in the works, like a couple blogs that are starting to produce some views and clicks, as well as we're trying to make the YouTube thing work. So, that's how I contribute. So let's hear from Alicia, who is currently the breadwinner.
So currently I still have a full-time job. I work as a transaction coordinator for a real estate agent. A lot of my work can be done remotely, but I still have to be there for 3 weeks out of the month in order to get things that I can't do on the road done, like printing out contracts or sending out notes, stuff like that. Most of it can be done on the internet, but I still have to be there in person for some of the time.
So, how long do you guys plan to be van lifers?
People must ask that a lot. Especially of a young couple.
Alright, so how long do we plan to be van lifers? Preferably forever. I think that we both really love it. And that we don't actually have a date that we're planning on quitting van life or anything right now. It just makes sense for us and it's what we want to do.
Alright, so what do you do when your van breaks down?
Yeah. Where do you sleep?
It's
your home.
So currently, if our van breaks down, we basically have to send it into the shop. There's a lot of stuff that we can't do on the van. There's a lot of stuff we can do on the van. But during that time when we're without our house, we actually spend a lot of time up at Kodiak's parents' house, which is really, really helpful. We have a secondary place to stay. If that wasn't the case, I think we have a couple friends that would let us stay there. I know my parents would probably let us stay at their house. But for the most part, it really sucks when our van breaks down. I hate being without our house, and luckily it hasn't happened more than twice, I think, since we've been doing this. And a lot of it is just, they know that this is our tiny house, and so they try to get it back to us as soon as possible.
And to that note, basically what we've planned on doing is you can always ask the shop if you can bunk up in the back of their lot. A lot of times their lot is separate from their workspace, and they don't really care if you're back there. But you do have to check and you do have to ask, because a lot of them have security systems. So just kind of keep that in mind as far as tips moving forward. You can ask the shop if you can sleep there. That's what we're planning on doing if we break down on the road. Knock on wood. That hasn't happened yet. All right, on to the last question, and the biggest.
Something that's really important to me is, we like food. How do you transition? How do you transition from a residential big fridge to a tiny little chest fridge in the van?
Must take some change in habits.
I want to know. I can't be the only one.
I doubt it.
Do that again. So I literally read her the question and that was her response. I did ask her to do it again because I wasn't recording. But that was legitimately her actual response.
I hated it. It was the worst. Having a regular fridge, especially having our mini fridge too. Like, I didn't really mind moving from a regular fridge to a mini fridge because it was pretty much the same. It still had shelves, it still had like little places for you to put stuff. But then when it's a chest fridge, it like, you open it and everything is everywhere and it drives me up the wall. Like, we have these little caddies that kind of organize it so like our center is like just for condiments and stuff like that, but it drives me nuts. It's all right. I'm just the type of person who needs like organization and not chaos in our fridge.
So the first time we got the chest fridge, we got it because of an electronic issue. Basically, the reason we got a chest fridge was it's more efficient and it wasn't going to run our batteries down as much. So having a legitimate AC mini fridge in our van ran off 200 watts of solar on the roof and 200 amp hours of battery in the back. Didn't work when it was really, really hot out because it would run the entire time and run our batteries pretty low. So we got the chest fridge out of necessity, not out of want. And basically, I decided we were going to get it because Alicia didn't want to get it. But the chest fridge we got was $400 instead of a DC chest fridge that's about $1,000. So it was quite a bit cheaper. When we got it, I organized it. That was my first mistake because she didn't know where anything was. So on top of she was already didn't like the idea and not open to it, then she couldn't find anything because I organized it and I don't organize stuff like she does. Not where she would and not how she does. So that also added to the stress. So at one point we basically said, okay, hey, she needs to organize this. I don't care if I can't find anything, but she does. So after she organized it, it got a little bit better.
It has still been a massive transition for me, but yes, it has gotten better. I don't hate it as much as I used to. Once I organized it, was kind of knew what kind of things were going to be stacked on top of others, it turned out okay. I still would prefer a stand-up fridge, but I guess I will live with it.
Okay, guys, for some more awesomeness, come meet us on their channel for part 1 and another chat.